Let's talk about Fortnite! Wait, guys, please don't leave! I did not ever plan to make this kind of production, but I have a confession to make. I have an addiction to this game, and it doesn't seem to be stopping. With how much I love playing it and how much I enjoy talking about Persona, why don't we talk about a potential crossover between the two franchises? Persona doing a collab with Fortnite has been a talking point ever since, I'd say, Chapter 1, back when this game was the biggest thing ever. It just makes sense. One of the most popular and well-known JRPGs to ever exist in a game where we already have iconic characters like Master Chief and Kratos? What else needs to be said? That's not even mentioning how many appearances Persona 5 has done with other games in the past, one of those being Smash Bros. Ultimate. There's zero reason for Persona not to make an appearance, so this left me thinking, how would this crossover even be possible? Well, that's what we're here to discuss. After taking a little poll, and also because that Persona clone's production will be far longer than I expected, we'll go over some of the things that we'd like to see in a potential P5 collaboration. I'll be going over everything: theme of the season, who's making it in as a skin, their accessories, and any potential mechanics for the gameplay. This is If Persona 5 Made It to Fortnite. Before we start, I just want to say that if you're enjoying our productions or you want to see more Persona-related stuff from us, be sure to press that subscribe button. While you're at it, be sure to check out our Patreon to further help grow the channel. You may be asking right now, why P5 specifically? In fact, even if it turned out to not be true, just a few months back, a lot of people had been hoping to see a Persona 3 collab to celebrate the release of Reload. Well, it's pretty simple. I said so! In all seriousness, I do feel like Persona 5 is at least the more deserving of an actual collab. Yes, Reload is the big, shiny game of the series, and at any moment we could have that Persona 6 announcement. Though I do think that, conceptually speaking, representing Persona 5 gives us a lot more to work with, in my opinion. For those who don't play Fortnite, or just haven't in a while, each season tends to have a theme for it. Cyberpunk, Greek gods, spies, a whole ton of different ideas. For this one in particular, I want to do something that might actually be a first for the game. A blend between European medieval times and masquerade parties. Think about it. You can design locations based off of 18th century castles and towns. Don't just do this with the locations, change up the weapons to fit this theme like revolvers and the grapple blade. Maybe add new weapons based off of this era like musket rifles. Alongside all that, the skins in this season's battle pass can have a style akin to a gentleman thief aesthetic. Very classy, but also stylish look that takes from the rich. That's, after all, one of the main things the Phantom Thieves take inspiration from. Personally, the best way to theme a season is to have it fit with the kind of collaboration it wants to focus on. And this is by far one of the smartest ways to approach this hypothetical season. Now then, I know what you're all waiting for. I'll get to the gameplay mechanics of the season in a bit, but for now let's talk about the skins. To start off, Joker will in fact be a Battle Pass skin, specifically the quote-unquote secret skin that gets released a few weeks after the season starts. This is a good way for players to be able to take in all of the new map changes, and this will also give the original skins featured on here a lot more attention. In terms of what his section will include, there's quite a lot to work with. The first skin you'll be able to get is his Phantom Thief form with his additional style as Ren Amamiya. Pickaxe will be his iconic dagger. For back bling, at most, what I can think of is having his bag with Morgana sticking his head out. That's really the best I got. Comment below if you have any other suggestions for a back bling. Getting back on the topic, however, there's a lot of neat things you can do for Contrail and Glider. One idea I had for the Contrail is to utilize the same stars you see in the game's UI. Just imagine those appearing as you're dropping down. I'd say that would look pretty neat. For the Glider, since, you know, it's Joker, it just makes sense to have Arsene here. It is his starting persona after all. How would this glider work, you ask? Well, it's quite simple. You see, there's these very unique gliders where your character looks like they're floating down as they're landing. Imagine how cool it would be if this Arsene glider does that. You could look just like you summoned your persona and are about to cause havoc on players. One of the coolest ways to start a match. For his main emote, he basically summons Arsene. Basically like how he does when choosing a skill in the main games. Personally, I'd make this a built-in emote just so that we have the animation of his mask disappearing intact. And last but not least, loading screens. First one, have Joker's all-out attack screen. I don't think I need to explain why. Second could be this one here, with all of your party members walking towards the camera. Wait a minute. Okay, now that we got our main show done, why don't we get into the other skins that will come alongside Joker's inclusion. These will be item shop skins, so if you missed out on the battle pass, you'll still be able to get them. For these skins, I'm going with Ryuji and Anne. As much as I would love to have my favorite duo, Sumi and Akechi, these two are way more recognizable and just make all the more sense. They're two of the first party members you get in P5 and also get the most screen time out of the main cast. In terms of gear, let's start with Ryuji. Obviously his pickaxe will be his famous crowbar as seen in this render here. His back bling will Shoot, why are these back blings so hard to come up with? For his back bling, I was thinking on either having a will seed or just an anchor to represent his persona. For Anne, she'll have her whip as the pickaxe, and back bling can be a Morgana plushie to represent their chemistry. Unlike Joker, both of these skins will only be in their Phantom Thief outfits. Even if these are the only skins that are most likely to release during the season, you never know if they do actually make a second wave. If they choose to make one more set of characters to appear, then you'd have to use Akechi and Sumi. Getting all of the Phantom Thieves would probably be too expensive and not worth the effort in Epic's part, so this is the best possible choice. Plus, they've already proven to be super popular characters in the fandom. With that said, skins are nice and all, but why not finally get into how this season, and its collab, work gameplay-wise? Due to the unique direction and map changes, let's assume that this is the first season of Chapter 6. This season is going to give off a similar vibe to Chapter 5 Season 1. That being, using stealth or any of your skills to defeat a boss to steal from a hidden room. So the way it works here, there'll be 3 main castles across the map. Your goal is to steal the treasure that lies inside there. However, it's not as easy as it sounds. Inside the castle, you might see a very useful weapon that could actually give you a big advantage. But the moment you enter to that room, the weapon turns into a less effective one. On top of that, these castles will have a mechanic that whoever is inside while said person enters it, they're immediately locked inside until they defeat the main boss. There's 2 ways you can approach this. Defeat the guards one by one until you find a key to get out, or defeat the main boss and all the enemies and leave with the real treasure in your hands. Keep in mind whichever players get locked inside are with you, so they can either deal with the enemies themselves, or you'll have to fight alongside all the other enemies. This type of mechanic adds a huge amount of risk, but also rewards, since you really just get to work with whatever you got prior to entering the castle. Is it too similar to other seasons that did the heist theme like Chapter 4 Season 4? Maybe? I only really got back to the game during the OG season, so I can't say. So what's exactly the treasure you get from these castles, you ask? Well, you of course get a powerful mythic weapon alongside a medallion, just like how we're seeing in Chapter 5. It's once the Persona collaboration appears where we really mix things up. So there'll be these different Persona mythics that can spawn chests and whatnot. Each one has their own unique skill that when used will help you out in combat, buffing your attack, or healing too. The Personas I chose for this are Jack Frost, Arsene, and Pixie. Like I said before, in my P5 All-Stars production, these are the most iconic within fans of the series, so it just makes sense to have them in. Arsene and Jack Frost will be more combat-focused, with Arsene being more of a heavy, but slower attacker with his Iha skill. Jack Frost will be a way faster and long-ranged attacker. And Pixie should have the ability to heal you by at least 10 to 20 health. The cooldown on this one is about 10 seconds, so that's going to help it from being too broken. The really cool part that I want about these Persona mythics is that once you have them on, you can actually see your Persona alongside you. This will make you stand out a bit more when out in the open, but I'd say that's a decent trade-off to how potentially broken these abilities can be. And I think that's about it. That's, in my opinion, what could be the best possible way to make an actual Persona collab in Fortnite. Will they ever do one? I wish. Look, it's been 5 years of begging for this to actually happen. If there was any better time to do this in, it would have been way back when Strikers released. If not when the games finally came to all platforms, if not in Chapter 4 Season 4! And I wasn't even playing in that season! Sorry, got a little heated there. Honestly, as much as I don't like saying this, and while I do in fact wish to see a collaboration of this game happen, just a few years back I really didn't like Fortnite. Sure, I played way back in Chapter 1, but after that I just stopped and didn't look back. Now, I'm having more fun than ever with this game. I really learned to just enjoy something if it makes you happy, and this game has been the most fun I've ever had since, well, when I first played Persona 5, to be honest. Even if a crossover between these two games never happens, let alone my idea of a new season doesn't either, I'm still happy to be able to share these ideas with you guys. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to continue playing this game until I reach over 1,000 hours. This is Akarioe from Mintjoy Pictures. Wait, they're not doing a collab with Fortnite, but they're doing a royal one with P5X? Seriously?